Hi, my name's Mandy and welcome to my YouTube channel, What Mandy Made Next. Hope you've all had a lovely couple of weeks since I last spoke to you, and today I have a couple of finishes, some works in progress and a lovely surprise at the end. So let's kick off with Miniature Monday, and this is when I make a mini project. So I've been working on Fresh Lemonade by Primrose Cottage Stitches. So no further ado, I'm going to show you this finished pillow. So this is the finished pillow. I'll bring it a bit closer and you can see it. So this is a Belfast linen. I purchased this from a charity shop and I think it's 32 count. So I've stitched this 2 threads over 2 of the squares there. Now the threads are DMC. Some are called for, the rest are from stash. And then I've used the Tilda fabric. This is called Meadow Basics, and it's the Meadow Pine colourway. So I've got nearly all the colours of this basics range, but I particularly love this green colour. It's really fresh, which I thought would go really nice with this piece. So yeah, it's quite a sizable pillow that I've made there. So this here is a little yellow flange. So here's the fabric. This is some I had from stash. And all I did is cut a strip, folded it over, and then I stitched it to there. So we've got this little flange there, and then I've got some white rickrack. Just gives it a little bit of pop of colour there. Now the 25 cents, there is a pattern included for stitch that, but I think I'm going to do it on some, not white, but more of a cream coloured linen. But for the time being, I've just written it out on some fabric just to finish it off there. Now I did buy some little pegs to clip it, but there's nothing to clip it to really, because this is also stuck down. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll look for some cream fabric, cross stitch the 25 cents on, and maybe so we'll stitch a little button on to keep it attached. But until I find some scrap fabric which I'm happy with, this is how it's going to be. So I'll just pin that in. But I love these display pillows, I really do. And yeah, so pleased and happy with this. I'm going to display this in my tiered tray, which I purchased from Hobby Lobby. I've noticed a lot of the floss tubers are using these tiered trays, you see. So when I was in America last year, in Florida, I bought 2 tiered trays back with me. So yeah, that's my fresh lemonade. So now that's completed, I've now got a new mini project to work on. So here we go. This one is called Angels Amongst Us, and it's a pattern by Sue Hancock from Liberty Bell, which is an online shop in the UK. So let me show the progress on my Angels Amongst Us. So there we go. Quite long legs. I've just pinned them to show you, but I've got to just put some stuffing in there and attach these arms and pop the face on, and then start making the clothes. So I love this idea, and Sue had this hanging on a wall in the workshop, and I kept on and on at her, oh, you know, make them up as a kit. So she has done. So let me show you some of the aprons. They're absolutely beautiful, because every season, you see, you change the apron. At the moment she's wearing her winter one, so I'll show you a little bit more detail. These I do apologise in advance, but there will be some rustling because I don't want to take them out of their wrappers as yet. So this is the spring apron. I'll bring it a bit closer and you can see. Aren't they beautiful? Look. So obviously we've got the sheep for, you know, a sign of spring, shepherdess, some trees, and then if we turn over you'll see all the fabrics and haberdashery, what we need to complete this. Absolutely beautiful. What a lovely idea to do the trees with these little flowers on. Gorgeous. Love this. So that's the spring one. This is the one I'll probably make next. Let me put those over there. This is the one I'll probably make next. This is the summer one. So I'll bring that a little bit closer and you can see that. So this has got the beehive, some flowers, watering can, a little bird bath. And if I turn it over, you'll see again all the haberdashery and fabrics I'll need to make this apron. And then the autumn one is this one. And then again, you'll have all the stuff in there to make the autumn kit. So yeah, it looks like we've got some pumpkins, corn, scarecrow. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Just can't wait. So in your kit as well, you'll get the special paper, what you need, the web, it's, oh, I forgot what it is now. It's like the webbing, what you need, because you will iron it onto your fabric shapes, cut it out, and then it'll stick to your apron for ready for sewing. So yeah, I think it's called Wonder Bond or something. You got all your instructions. So that's the autumn one. Then I have the winter one. I've got some threads there. Wouldn't be me without thread. I've obviously been having a nose in this, haven't I? So this is the winter one. Oh, there isn't a, she hasn't put a picture in for me there. But yeah, that's how that will look. It's got the snowman and the sledge. Absolutely beautiful. And then we have the fabrics and haberdashery. We've got a little thing. Everything's so detailed with Sue. Very detailed. So you have your seasons, but also she did one where you could also have like certain events. So this was the Easter one, and I wanted that one. So she made up some of the Easter aprons. And then we got a little bunny in his car with the Easter eggs. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. And then again, all the fabrics and everything we need. Oh, I recognise that one. So it looks like a Kim DL one, that. I asked if she would do me do a Halloween one. So I'll just hold that up and you can see. And it says spooky. So that's the Halloween apron with these beautiful colours. And look at that, the purples, and she thinks of everything. Absolutely lovely. And then I also had a Christmas one. So these aprons are optional, you see, I think. So, but you mean, you've only got to email her, go on a website and email, and she'll explain everything. And, you know, you can actually buy these kits from her. So, yeah. So that one says joy, and we got little gingerbread house and the sleigh. And if I turn it over, you'll see it again, all the beautiful fabrics there to make up the apron. Absolutely beautiful. While I'm on the subject of Liberty Bell, I have popped on now my summer lampshade. So this was a lampshade I purchased from B&M, you see, and then you put your lampshade cover over. So again, this is a pattern by Sue from Liberty Bell. Now, if you haven't got a B&M lampshade, I think she does give you a link to a YouTube channel what shows you how to make a pattern for a lampshade. But again, these come in kits. So there was a spring, summer, autumn and winter one. I think I had the winter one on last time. I haven't made my spring one up yet, but this, because it's summer, I've popped this one on. I love this. I love this row of houses. It's so, just so clever. And then the little brick wall. We got the seagull, boat, and then the seagull having a rest on one of the groins. And then we've got this lighthouse. Yeah, I just think it's lovely. So yeah, I was really pleased with my lampshade. I made this at a class what she facilitated, and then I signed up to the rest of the kits. So whilst I'm on about this lampshade, Sue wrote me a letter and told me that apparently every year she has a stall at the Malvern Quilt Show, and she said a lovely lady came to the stall and she actually mentioned my channel to her and said, you know, she'd seen this lampshade on my channel. So that was lovely, and I hope you enjoy making up the kit. So yeah, I was so pleased when Sue told me that. I think it's lovely. What a small world. Right, I'll just pop that back over there and we'll get on with the next project, which I work on a Tuesday, and usually I work on cross stitch because obviously when I'm making mini projects I'm quite close up on my sewing machine, my shoulders start to ache, so a little bit of cross stitch. You know, I change my projects, you know, different crafts every day just to help with my joints really, so I don't get repetitive strain injury. Although when it comes to cross stitch I am in danger of getting that because sometimes I'm a little bit naughty and I like to do a little bit every day. But I'm working on this one at the moment, and this one is called Twilight Calm. Twilight Calm, that's it. And this is by Dimensions, and it's from the Gold collection. So I purchased this kit, it was over 10 years ago now. It was when I was on holiday in Florida. Now, since getting into Dimension kits, I think they're absolutely beautiful. I've joined a Facebook group on, well, obviously it's on Facebook, to do with Dimensions. And I rarely see this kit. So I've Googled it in and searched, and I think it's quite rare. So I feel really privileged and lucky to have this in my stash. So I'd only worked on a little small area of this cross stitch, and then we came home and it got put away in my craft room somewhere because other things I was getting on with, and I've only just picked it back up after 10 years. But yeah, I showed you some progress on my last vlog, and now I'm going to show you how far I've got with it. So this is it in all its glory. I'm absolutely loving how this is turning out. Now, when I initially started this kit 10 years ago, like I say, I started in the centre because that's what you were always told to do. But I find it easier to start in the left hand corner and work in squares of 10 by 10, and that way I'm not losing count. When you do it this way, you know you're going to be doing a lot of counting, ripping back, because you will make mistakes well, I do anyhow. So I just find it easier to work in 10x10 squares. So I've managed to work my way across to here and up, and I'm now at the top here. Excuse the hoop mark. I am having a problem getting this hooped actually, because this aider here is really thick. It's thicker than what I usually work with, and yeah, I've had to use a little hoop there, because obviously a big hoop I wouldn't have enough fabric to go in there, because this is all pre-cut. I've just gone round the edges obviously with my overlocker, and this is my new stitch marker. Let me just show you that. I need to change my needles, they're getting a bit, you know, old, you know what I mean. But that's a Battenberg cake, and it's by Chapel View Crafts. Shows us that little biscuit at the back. Oh, look at that, really strong magnet. Absolutely. You can see, if I bring it up, you can see actually there's like little cake markings. It just looks so realistic. So I'll just reaffix that and put my needles on there before those go wandering off. But yeah, they're getting a bit tarnished, so I need to buy some new ones really. I'm having a problem, I think it's size 28s or 26s, getting those. But usually I like to buy a stock in. So I part my threads, because you get your threads, obviously they're pre-cut, but I'm having a problem because there isn't much of this thread here, and you use 3 strands of this, and yeah, there's quite a few squares need stitching in this, and I don't think I'll have enough. And if I don't know what I'm going to do. I might ask the Facebook group for some advice, or whether I can use a DMC. But these threads are actually thicker than the DMC ones, you know, so yeah. I'll have to just see how I go. I love this because it's so different, because in some places you might be only using 2 threads, but you just do half a stitch, or you might be using, like there, 5 threads there. So it's so interesting. And then in some places you are actually mixing the threads. I mean, I know it looks a tangle, but I know where I'm at. So if you can see this one here, it's you can't see really, but it's a brown and it's a green. So one thread's brown and one's green, so it's so different, and it gives you this lovely effect. I've just got to couch now and backstitch, so I'll perhaps do a video on that. But this is when it brings your picture to alive. Apparently it brings it all to life. So, and this is probably why it's called dimensions, isn't it? I think I did a little bit there just to see how what it would look like. So you just might see a little bit there. But yeah, we'll see how we go, and I'm just loving this. But now I've got to this top left corner, I should be able to go a lot quicker. So I'll work down to here, and then work a bit across, and then start down again and do it that way, so I can get rid of all these threads. But basically they're just parked in the square where this one's obviously black, so that'll be a black cross stitch there. So that's how I park. So yeah, that's my beautiful Twighlights Calm. So my next project is my crochet blanket, the Spring Frost blanket by Lucy from Attic 24. This is a free pattern which is available on her website Attic 24 or from Ravelry. So yeah, I've completed it. Can't believe it. So yeah, that's the right side. Just looking at the right side. So last time I spoke to you, I think I was just starting the border. This is the bottom of the blanket actually, because I know the spearmint colourway was at the top. I just love these colours. Yeah. Well, I'm going to show you. I'll take a picture of this on my bed because it's huge. Absolutely huge. There's no way I could stand up and show you all this. I'd be a little dot in the distance to get all this in. It's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to show you the border in more detail. So I just thought I would show you the border because this is what I have been working on. Now the blanket is now complete, but I thought I would go through the colours on the border. So this is the right side where we crochet through the back of the loop, so you get this ridge. And then this is the back of the blanket, and that just looks as pretty to me as the front does, to be honest. And she calls this the Spring Frost border because the first colour is this lovely Parma violet colour. Don't know if you remember Parma violet sweets. I used to love those when I was a kid. So yeah, this is the Parma violet colourway, and this reminds her of the cold ground. The next colour is this baby blue. This is the baby blue colour for the clear sky on a spring day. Then we have Lincoln. Now I had some Lincoln from the stash which I used up first, so that's why this particular ball is larger than the rest, because I only used a small bit of this, but I will wind it up into a ball. Now I've used some. So this colourway is called Lincoln, and this reminds her of the frosty leaves, and doesn't it just? And then we have Pistachio. I love this colour, it's very vibrant. And this is the Fresh Spring Buds. Then we have Powder Pink, and this is the Early Blossoms. Then we have a Hint of Silver. So this is the Hint of Silver, and this is denotes the chill in the air. And then we have the white, which is the Picot border, and that's the frosty finish. So yeah, what a beautiful analogy that is. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, the one thing I would say is I've actually crocheted my picots a little differently. I was having a struggle with them. So you slip stitch 2, and then what I've done here is I've actually chained 2, and then I've gone down into the chain and slip stitch in to make my picot. I don't think it's too bad. And there's no worry if you get to a corner and you're a little bit out with your count, you can sort of fudge it. She does say that you can sort of work it in so that your picots are either side of the corner. So that's how I've done mine, and I think it's worked pretty well. But aren't these colours absolutely beautiful? So I think that'll make a lovely advent present for my youngest daughter, because these are her colours. So my next plan is the fireside blanket. I've already got my yarn pack. Again, it's another pattern by Lucy from Attic 24, and this will be for my middle daughter Carly. So I make them all Advent presents, my grandchildren, and sometimes I make them for my daughters. So I'm trying early this year to make these gifts, so there will be no mad rush at the end of the year. But right, next one up is my pair of socks. Well, they're not for me, they're for my partner. And I'm using a good old vanilla sock pattern. So I'll show you the pattern. It's by Nurturing Fibres. It's, I wonder it's still readable really. I've had this years. This is a toe down. Now my partner's very funny. He likes his socks in a certain way, and this pattern works for him. However, I have done an afterthought heel before, but he doesn't like that. He likes a fleagle heel. So I usually use this pattern, and then when I get to about here, I'll then turn for the heel. So let me show you the wool I'm using. I'm using a Regia 4-ply for the toe and the heel, and this is, oh, it's showing true to colour. Great. That's great. Power of magic daylight. And then this is the main sock yarn. I purchased this from Moreland Wool and Crafts. Let me just get you the label. It's an opal yarn, and it's called Fairy Tale. So, as you know, sock yarn, it's usually 25% nylon and the rest is wool, isn't it? So I'll show you how far I've got. Now I'm knitting these on, I think these are 2.5s. Because I remember last time, I think they were 2.25 or something, and Davina from Little Workroom Crafts, hello Davina if you're watching, sent me what they called the DPNs, carbons, because I was having a struggle, but these are a little bit thicker, so not so bad for me, these ones. So it's like a self-striping Fair Isle. Yeah, beautiful. Love working with these sort of yarns, because so interesting to see what you're going to knit next. I don't know if my gauge has tightened up a little bit, but these look a little bit small for him, but I suppose once they're stretched and washed and everything, they'll be fine. So I bought a new stitch marker as well. I mean, I bought these from the same shop a couple of years ago, the little craft shop in Trentham Gardens where I live. It's in Staffordshire, but those little jammy dodgers. Well, this is my latest one I've purchased. This is a little mug. It's got coffee in it. And this is the shop where you get these from. It's called the Little Shop of Crafts. She's also online. Yeah. Got all these like little... That's where I bought that needle minder from as well, that Battenberg one. So yeah, go and give her a look. She sells lots of yarn and cross-stitchy stuff. So I'll pop that in there so it's safe and I know where it is. And then my next one, so my next project is in this bag, which I made a few weeks ago. I love this. Look, just love it. This is called Roses and Chocolate by Moda, this fabric. And I've boxed the bottom, and then inside this lovely green plaid, which I bought from Stash, pulled it from Stash. So I've decided to knit another little bonnet, the beloved bonnet by Tin Can Knits. And I had this wool left over from a cardigan. I don't know if you remember, I knit the sea glass cardigan and I knit it in this. It's Stylecraft. Again, it's showing up its colour lovely there, and they're absolutely beautiful. If you look there, you'll see there's all like salmony pinks and violets. It's beautiful. In fact, it's cut, the colourway is called Wild Salmon. So I had a ball and this left from this cardigan, so I decided I would knit another beloved bonnet, and I finished it. It's got these I-cord straps. It's so cleverly written. So basically you knit the I-cord and then you start increasing. These are German short rows at the back, so it cinches in round the neck, and then you carry on increasing until they tell you to stop, and then you decrease and then go knit down and finish off with the I-cord. And then the front of the bonnet is so cleverly written, the pattern, that it's got like a faux I-cord going round there. So you've seen me knit this bonnet before. I always start knitting the I-cord on some DPNs, my wooden DPNs here, because it's so much easier. I think these are higher, but it's so much easier to do your I-cord that way. And then when I've got quite a few stitches on and the increase section, I then change to my addies, and then when I decrease back down, I go back onto these because I'm going to be knitting an I-cord again. So I think I've got enough wool now to make some matching mittens, and I've chosen the Whirl Simply Mittens, and again it's another pattern by Tin Can Knits, and that one is free. This isn't. This is a paid for, but it's well worth it because you get baby, toddler, I think child and adult sizes. So yeah, that's well worth it. And then the Whirl Simply Mittens will be a free pattern. So we'll see how we go with that. So yeah, just love this bag, and I love it so much. I had some fabric left, so I've made another bag. Obviously I didn't have enough, so I've used the green plaid lining at the bottom of the bag. I think it's really pretty, and this measures about 3 inches across the base, so there's enough in there for a shawl, or it could hold some socks obviously, but your small garment, small child's jumper would even fit in that. So yeah, I love it, I really do. So I'd like to give this away as a free prize. So to be in with the chance, all you need to do is subscribe if you haven't already, give me a like, and just put in a sentence the word lavender. Tell me whether you like it or not. That's all it is. The magic word is lavender. Now, what I would ask is that you do not mention in your comment prize, free, giveaway, anything like that. Anything that would suggest I'm giving something away, because you'll get people, unfortunately, what will search keywords that would marry up with a free giveaway, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's unfortunate. And then you get people, I've had it done before, where they're trying to enter a draw and yeah, they're not even subscribed. So that's all you need to do, and you also need to be over 18 and be aware that if you do not live in the UK, you may be liable for import taxes if you do win this. So if you don't want to enter, then just leave me your normal comments, but if you do, like I say, tell me whether you like or dislike lavender, and lavender is the key word. I'll never email you or anything like that. To find out if you've won, I will announce the winner on my next vlog. So I have purchased some more fabric. This is for me. I'll bring it up there, and this is like, it's black with like a goldy fawn coloured flower on, and this was from Abercorns. I bought 3 yards, so hopefully I'll be, well, I know I can get a dress out of 3 yards. So I haven't chosen the dress yet. I have seen the Mabel dress, and it was Anna from, and her YouTube channel, I'll pop a link in down below, was called Pattern Pouch. And she'd made quite a few of these Mabel dresses, and they were absolutely stunning. What puts me off the Mabel or any dresses with elasticated tops is that they can show quite a bit of my décolletage off, which I don't want to show. But Anna had put in a bow, so a fabric here, and pulled it tighter, and she says it raises that up, so that could be a contender. So next time I see you, I'll be able to show you what I've made. On a Saturday, I usually do some quilting, and as you know, I was working on this commemorative baby quilt, which, hurrah, I finished. It's gone. Yeah, so yeah, all I had to do was a little bit more hand quilting and then to make the binding. I didn't put a border on, but this is some of the binding what I wanted to show you. So this is called a flange binding, or Susie's magic binding, it's also known as. So basically there's no hand sewing with this. So you attach this to the back of your quilt, and then you bring it round, and then you machine sew in the ditch. So I'll show you that in a little bit more detail, and some photographs of the recipient of the quilt. I'm just going to trim off the last bit of my edge. Now I don't expect this quilt to be perfectly square, but I'm trying to match up, you know, the lines with the blocks there, so it more or less gives me a guideline there. And there we go. That is the quilt trimmed, you see. Now usually we'd put a border on here, and we could put, you know, I'll give you an example, could be up to 4 inches, or, you know, and that would look nice. But I think this quilt's big enough, and I've spent enough time on it, so I'm just going to apply binding. Label, and this is how she wanted it, and it's quite a long sort of piece really, so I've made it into like a pillow, and there's the opening there, as you can see, because obviously it would have frayable edges. So I've don't need to stitch that shut because I'm just going to pull it tight, you see, and then I'm going to embroider on my sewing machine around the edges, and then I will stitch this to the back of the quilt, and that is the quilt finished. So let me just go and embroider this. Now working back on my Kim DL quilt, which I started last year. It was a block of the month at Liberty Bell, and I've just got a few more blocks to make up and to piece the quilt together, so I'll let you catch up with that next time I see you. So on a Sunday I like to do some slow stitching just to calm down, let the week go, you know, after the week's goings on. And I am making a Beatrix Potter quilt for my grandchildren. So I'm working on the Squirrel Nutkin block. So I've drawn out a Squirrel Nutkin. Don't think I'm some fantastic artist. I use this book here, this colouring book. It was £10, but it's well worth it. I bought this from Hobby Lobby, but there's lots and lots of pictures in here that I can trace and use for my embroidery. I've been using this book for guidance. It's called Paint with Thread by Emily Ferris. This is well worth buying if you're interested in embroidery, because she goes through everything with you. In fact, I'll do a book review on this at some stage. But you've got all the patterns in the back as well, and she goes through everything with you. And basically you're painting with thread. You only have one strand of thread for this type of embroidery. So really, in an ideal world, I should have started with this book to give me, you know, the idea and the notion of how you do it, but I've just gone ahead and cracked on. So this is some linen I bought from a charity shop. I think it was a couple of pounds, and I've actually started with the acorns. There you go. I'll bring them up a bit closer and you can see. Well, it's the oak leaves, isn't it? Not the acorns, the oak leaves. And then I'm gonna work on the cone there and the acorn, and then start on Squirrel Nutkin. I just don't want Squirrel Nutkin's face to look so scary. But we'll see how we go. I've picked lots of threads out and I've got them stashed. Now where did I put them? Here. Looking everywhere. Yeah, those are all my threads. They're all in here. And I'm picking these lovely colours up from stash. You might recognise these. These are from my Mickey's Coffee when I did that cross stitch. But I've got all these lovely golds and creams and things to stitch the squirrel's fur. So that'll be a block, you see. So yeah, I think that's it really, and I think there's enough to be going on with, to be honest. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you have, please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't. You can catch up with me also on Instagram, but I must warn you that my account is private, so you'd have to send me a friend request. My handle on Instagram is the same as my YouTube channel, What Mandy Made Next. The reason it's private is I was getting silly requests of men in uniforms. I'm sure they're not interested in a middle-aged woman who likes to embroider acorn leaves. Right, oak leaves, I mean. So, happy crafting. I hope you have an enjoyable couple of weeks until I see you next time. And yeah, enjoy the sunshine. Bye.